Hello everyone. Today I've got 3 new indie horror books that you absolutely should read, especially during Halloween. One of them is coming out in less than a week. The other one came out earlier this month, and the third one came out just today at the time I'm making this video. So these are 3 brand new books that might have slipped under your radar, and that absolutely should not happen because they are all fantastic. And before we get started, I want to remind you that I have horror books for sale, and you can pick up my debut horror novel called Pray for Salvation at the link in the description, along with all the rest of my horror books. And don't forget that my very first anthology I ever wrote is absolutely free for anybody. There's a special link down there if you want to pick up the things that happen at night. And don't have to sign up for anything. Just click the link, fill out the information, and download it. And it's yours for free as a way of saying thank you. And if you want to join my Patreon, you can get all my horror books for free over there. Free short horror stories every month and other things to come. So check that out if that's something that might interest you. All right, let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about today is called Such Lovely Skin. This came out earlier this month. This one is going to appeal to a lot of people. It's going to appeal to older people who just want a good scary story, and it's going to appeal to younger people, that generation that likes video games. As even though I don't fit in the younger people category, I still love video games. And so this one really appealed to me. And this is about a young woman who has a Twitch following. She streams horror video games on her Twitch channel. And she has a pretty good following, but her goal is to make a living from this, to get enough followers and sponsors and donations through that channel to support herself. It's something she loves to do, and people enjoy watching her do it. She thinks she can make a full-time living. One day she gets a link to an independent horror video game. She decides to download it and play it offline first to see if that's going to be a good fit for her channel. And at one point in the game, it asks her to type in her deepest, darkest secret. But the thing is, this game kind of knows when she's lying, when she tries a couple things that isn't really true as far as deep, dark secrets go. And so this game kind of knows that. But she figures she's offline, nobody's around. And so she does. She tells the truth and types in her deepest, darkest secret. And boy, this one is pretty dark. And there's a reason why nobody else knows about it, but it's something that haunts her every day of her life. And that, I'm not going to tell you what it is, of course, because there are things in here to discover for yourself. But that's going to play a big part in the story later on, what that secret is. But she types it in and it lets her continue. But by doing so, she realizes after she shuts down the game that it has unleashed something into this world. An evil doppelganger of herself. And it does not take long before this doppelganger starts trying to tear apart her life. It streams as her because if she knows how to, her passwords and everything, all the information she knows, this doppelganger knows also. So it streams as her. It speaks to her friends and family, and they do not realize it's not her, obviously, because it's an exact doppelganger. And this doppelganger is doing insane things that she would never say and she would never do, but nobody realizes it's not her. And so her social life starts taking a big hit because her doppelganger has said some very nasty things. Her online presence is starting to take a dive because, again, the doppelganger streams as her and it does some very unsavory things online as well, posing as her, and nobody can tell the difference. But then it just keeps getting worse and worse because it goes from just trying to ruin her life basically into murderous territory. and her friends and her family are not safe. And this doppelganger is trying to actually destroy her by performing some very brutal acts against people she knows posing as her. And it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And when she starts to investigate this and comes up with some clues and some people she can talk to, she's going to find out that she's not the only person this has happened to concerning that horror game she downloaded. It's happened to other people, and what she's going to find out is that that did not end well for any of those people at all. And so now she has to find a way to stop her doppelganger from going out of control before she loses everybody that's close to her. And it is going to get wild. It's going to get insane. The thing I really liked about this book is that it's very authentic to the subject matter. As far as, you know, I watch my favorite streamers on Twitch, my favorite video games. I watch other people playing them. And she knows, this author knows that territory, obvious, and that's going to be obvious. If you're into that, you're going to recognize the authenticity. And then it just takes off in this very horrific direction. And there's some twists and turns. There's some other elements in there that I don't want to tell you about to spoil it. But like I said, her deep dark secret is going to be revealed, and it's a doozy. And you're going to have to read about that to find out, but it is going to play a part in what happens later in this story. Yeah, I absolutely love this book. Of course, I highly recommend it to you. It's perfect for horror fans of all ages, I would say, because it's not gratuitously bloody or gory, but it certainly knows how to send a chill up your spine and knows how to build the tension with the subject matter. And I really appreciated that sense of realness about it. And so, yeah, I will leave a link down below, and you can pick up your copy right now. And next we have a Buoygeist. I almost tripped over saying that there. But this is the latest one from the same author of Odious Ghouls, which I have reviewed on my channel before. So I knew I was in good hands when he asked if I wanted to read an ARC. This one's coming out early next month, so only about a week away or something like that. And you should definitely pre-order it. This is a supernatural slasher set in the 80s. And really, what more do you need to know? I mean, I'll tell you a little bit more, but you give me that description. It's a supernatural story. It's a slasher story, and it's set in the 80s. And I'm there. I'm easy that way. But this is about a group of friends in a small coastal town that relies on tourism. And they have an urban legend that's kind of famous about this creature that lives underneath the water, and performing a certain ritual will call it forth, and then it will go out and kill the people that actually called it forth. And they call it the Buoygeist. And so this group of friends, they lived there their whole lives, and they kind of ignore it. Not because they actually believe it, but more or less because what if it's real? They just don't want to tempt fate. One of them had went off to college. She came back with her boyfriend she met there, and he said he wanted to come with her to meet all her friends from high school and see the town she grew up in. But he has an ulterior motive. And one night at a party, he kind of goads and bullies and convinces this group of friends to take a boat out to that buoy in the lake and perform this not really a ritual as you would think, but it is kind of a ritual on how you're supposed to make this thing appear. None of them want to do it, but it's been a long night. They're tired. They take this guy out there, let him get his jollies, and then they come back. But it works. And this, basically, it's a water demon, basically, that lives deep under the water right by that buoy in this town. And it is supernatural, and it is very, very terrifying. And pretty soon it will stop at nothing to get to this group of people, because they are the ones that kind of called it forth. And this one is just wonderful because of the slasher-like quality of it. Certain places, when people try to get in its way, let's say, even groups of people, it has no problems slicing and dicing and hacking and all that good stuff just to get at the ones that really this thing really wants. And it's bloody. Of course, it's terrifying. They're going to have some help from kind of an unexpected character who has some history with this demon. Actually faced it down sometime in his past, but you're going to have to read about all that. But will any of them survive? This thing doesn't seem to be killed. It is supernatural, so it has abilities that, you know, humans don't. And it's relentless. The only thing they know is that if they cannot survive that night, they're all going to wind up dead if they can't stop it. Yeah, this one is exciting. It's fast-paced. It's bloody. It's got all the qualities you want in an 80s supernatural slasher kind of story. You know, it's got all them great fun vibes about it. I really enjoy reading this one. And yeah, I highly recommend it to you, of course. And there is a link down below where you can pre-order your copy, and I definitely think you should. And next we have Mischief Night Massacre. This is an anthology by Jason Parent. And come on, it's almost Halloween. Everybody needs, every year I think we need a good new Halloween-based anthology, right? And this is one of the better ones I've read this year. It's absolutely excellent. And all these stories take place on Halloween, on Mischief Night, and even one story that takes place during the Day of the Dead celebration in Mexico. A very interesting story that is, by the way. But basically, that's what they have in common, that they're all set around this Halloween night. And even though they're in different locations and you have different characters, all of these stories are going to deal with all the spooky, scary, frightening things we would associate with Halloween. So there's a wide variety of stories in here, no matter what genre of horror you like. You know, you got a house that you definitely do not want to go into. You have people out, you know, trick-or-treating, just trying to have fun, and their nights are not going to end that well. And then you got others who are out there and don't really care about trick-or-treating. A group of 3 older kids who just want to go out there and cause harm and cause mischief and cause trouble, and things are not going to end well for them either. But you got the haunted houses, and you got the ghosts, and you got the slashers, and you got the blood, and you got the gore, and you got all the terrifying situations going on in, you know, in all of these stories. And yeah, I absolutely love this. It's one of those that, you know, it should be read for this Halloween. And if you read it, I think you'll like it. And if you do, you can read it every Halloween. So you can make it like a Halloween tradition. All these stories are fantastic, of course. And yeah, I highly recommend it to you. And it just came out today as I'm making this video. So it's brand new, stuff you've never read before, but stuff you definitely want to read. It's an excellent, excellent anthology. I highly recommend it. And there is a link in the description where you can pick up your copy. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.